To get these Fox 3.0s installed on the Raptor, we first will remove the wheels for complete access. On the side of the knuckle and up on the edge of the front strut tower, there are a few small brackets to disconnect to create slack in the lines. We then move the back side of the knuckle at the top of the axle to remove the vent line. Also remove the axle dust cover for access to remove the axle nut. The outer tie rod can be removed next on the knuckle connection. A slight tap from a hammer will help to free it from the knuckle. Disconnect the sway bar from the end link to allow the lower control arm to drop fully later on. Also, the UCA can be disconnected from the steering knuckle, but leave the nut on a few threads so that we can break the knuckle free with a hammer. You're now ready to remove the 3 top nuts on the coilover. Once these are out, loosen the UCA bolts of the frame to relieve the tension from the UCA. Now the lower shock bolt can be removed. This makes us ready to remove the UCA from the knuckle, then swing the knuckle out of the way to allow yourself to pull the stock coilover. You'll most likely need to put downward pressure on the lower control arm to be able to free it. Place the Fox coilover into the lower control arm and then rest it back into the shock tower. To mount the external reservoir, slide in both brackets to the reservoir, then attach the 2 clips to the body mount location that is toward the front of the truck near the coilover. The brackets on the reservoir will bolt to the body mount, then you can tighten the brackets to the reservoir once you have its final placement. We can then slide in the lower bolt into the coilover and lower the control arm and tighten it down. Lift up the coilover assembly to attach the 3 bolts on the top of the coilover to the strut tower. Now we can tighten down the upper control arm at the frame connections, then swing it down into the knuckle and reattach the nut. The sway bar is next to be tightened back down to the end link, followed by the axle nut and its dust cover. Be careful not to over-tighten the axle nut. All of the brackets can be reattached to the side of the knuckle and frame. Also on the back of the knuckle by the axle, press the vent tube back onto the vent line. Lastly, the tie rod could be replaced back into the knuckle.